Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Kylie Patchett and I'm your host, and welcome to the Wild and Finally Fucking Free podcast. This show is all about sharing the real and raw stories from women who have undergone midlife metamorphosis, taken a leap of faith, or broken the ties that bind them in patterns of staying stuck, small, and like their needs don't matter. You see, I believe that the years leading up to and during menopause are a rite of passage, a deep invitation after so many years of giving our time, attention, and energy to others to carve out the same time, energy, and attention in ourselves, in our health, our love, our connection, our vitality, our purpose, our real needs and deep desires. You know, those ones lying dormant underneath all the duty, responsibility, pushing, striving, and achieving of our 20s and 30s? You see, at this stage in our lives, we find ourselves shifting identity potentially, no longer caring as much what other people think, and left wondering why on earth we have not given ourselves permission to do life in the way we truly want to. In this show, I speak to the women brave enough to truth talk their own midlife shedding skin stories, and the healers and helpers who help them transition through these crossroads of change. This is the midlife magic you didn't even know you needed, and I am so freaking glad you found us. Let's dive in. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wild and Finally Fucking Free. Today I have Libby Tozer with me. Hi, Libby. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm so good. First of all, I've had 10 hours sleep, which is like freaking magical. I've also got my favorite happiness t-shirt on, but I get to talk to you. That's the most important thing, because your story... But actually, before we get into your story, let's introduce you and the magic that you do in the world. So how would you describe the beautiful Libby Tozer to someone?
Oh, I don't know. I'm like, it depends what context.
Yeah, well, and this is why I hate formal bios, right? Because I don't like boxing people in. So how do you feel today?
So I'm a photographer and a writer and the founder of the She Is Seen movement, which is a self-acceptance movement about stepping into your own skin and owning yourself exactly as you are.
Yes.
And I'm also a flower farmer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Also cottage sort of gardens. We're literally in between patches at the moment, so it feels a bit weird, but we're that's a big part of my life.
Oh wow. That sounds absolutely beautiful. Cottage flowers are my favorite. I'm married to a man that likes open paddock and no like pretty stuff, and I'm I don't understand the lack of pretty stuff, but his thing is, if you can't eat something off it, why plant it? Because it looks pretty.
Lots of flowers.
You're missing the point. So anyway, we've got lots of fruit and veg, but nothing much else. But anyway, so how did you start She Is Seen? When I asked you to come onto the show, your answer to one of my questions about how did you make a big change or take a big leap was, I sold my house, brought a campervan and camera, and started She Is Seen. I'm like, okay, that's a good place to start. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
I'd been writing a book. Going back further, I'd written a kid's book a couple of years beforehand about fairies and dragons and connection to nature.
Yes.
And then I started writing a second book, which was about a little girl who wanted to grow up to look just like her mum, and her mum didn't like herself, essentially. And I actually talked to a publisher about it a lot, and we had back and forth with them asking me to make changes for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And after 6 months, I got an email back from them saying that they thought that I was empowering the mother too much and not the child.
God forbid we do that, Libby. God forbid.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm going in the wrong direction here. So I completely put down the kids' book idea and started writing it for the mother. And then I realized in the process of writing it that not all women are mothers. Some can't be, some don't want to be,
choose to be,
all the options.
Yeah.
So then I wrote Through Her Eyes, which was the book that kind of started She Is Seen. So And that's about a woman's journey. Oh my gosh, a woman's journey in general, like through all. It's got lots of mental health stuff in there and pivotal moments that affect lots of women, really.
So good. And how, because I came across you, and I'm sure a lot of people in Australia have done also, seeing your amazing photography and the events that you do, where there's like literally women walking around and, you know, their undies and being loud and not loud. That's actually not what I want to say. Like unapologetic about exactly who they are, the skin they're in, how comfortable they are in their body. And actually one of the people that was in last year's festival, I met through a business mastermind, and I met her just after she'd done that. And the literal joy beaming out of her face talking about that experience. And I was like, I don't even know what this is. And so then I came and discovered you, and I was like, oh my God, not only amazing photographer, but this deep, deep message of, I'm like, I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. I don't need to fix myself or change myself or morph into something different or fit into a box or whatever. So how did the actual community start? So you started like the book happened.
Yeah. So that was an accident. The community was an accident.
A happy accident.
So once I'd finished writing the book, I thought, this book needs illustrations. And I'd illustrated the first book, but that's a kid's book, and I'd like very basic illustrations.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to find an illustrator. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, there's some amazing photographers around the world. And I thought, actually photos would be amazing of bodies with different stuff going on.
Yes.
And I reached out to a couple of photographers, some not even in Australia. I'm not sure what I was thinking. And then
love this story. I love it.
And then I realized, like, there's no way I could afford to pay somebody else to do photography for the book. At the time I was a single mum, and I can't even remember how old my daughter was, but anyway, I decided, somehow I got to the point, I decided I'm just going to buy a camera. And I'd always wanted to have a camper van, so that, which is not at all related, but I think when I answered your question, I was like, I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to buy a camper van that I've always wanted, and I'll buy a camera. I had no idea about photography at all. I have a couple of friends who are photographers, so I spent a few $1,000s on a camera, which felt like quite extreme.
Yep, big investment.
And then I created a Facebook group. And just said, I'm doing this body positive thing, and does anyone want to come and have their photo taken? And initially for the book, and initially I thought I was just going to do people's stomachs. So I was like, this has changed a lot in the last few years on social media, but back then, like, the idea of, there weren't heaps of accounts around with women with no clothes on, or and I just thought people wouldn't be comfortable doing it. So So I said, I just want to take a few photos, make a couple of group photos, and I had this vision of like women with, like, I thought we'd put a sheet across like their boobs and pubes, so we'd just kind of see their stomach, and it would be totally private. So it'd just be about stomachs for that photo. That was my first concept for the first photo. So I just said, is anybody happy to do a photo like this? And I got, for the first photo, I think there were 5 women there. And I remember I'd gone round to a friend's house before in the morning. I had no idea how to use the camera. So she was like, I had like little notes written down in my phone, like, if the sun comes out, change this level. If the,
oh my God, I love this.
Oh my gosh. So, and then we got into we got to this place, and another person let us borrow their house they had a gorgeous little gully in their backyard. And I think it was the first day of July.
Oh dear Lord, that's a bit fresh in Australia.
Oh my God,
a bit fresh.
It was so cold. So we were standing in this gully, and they just were like, they're here for it. Like, I read them the first chapter of the book.
Magical.
And they're all like, oh, we're happy to do this. So they just so that shoot ended up being complete nudes. And that kind of started the group nudes. I remember thinking like they're all standing there and they're all so vulnerable. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't let me like stuff up the camera while they're all standing here. So like, oh my gosh. Anyway, the photos worked out. Okay.
I love the fact that, I don't know, like when I read, buy a camera, buy a camper van, I've done shit like that in my life as well, where I've just like trusted, I don't know, had an idea and just gone, yep, that sounds like a good idea, and taken the leap. But when I've done that, other people have just gone, I don't know how brave you are. But it's not, did you feel like you were being brave at the time, or did it just feel like a good idea and so therefore you did it? Like, what was... Hey gorgeous, we interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients of the soulmate variety, more cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip, energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard, real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't feel like it was... Yeah, that's an interesting question. I definitely didn't feel like I was being brave.
Yeah.
I feel like She Is Seen has once she kind of got her own energy, she kind of took on a life force of her own.
And she pulled you forward.
And a lot of time I've been pulled forward and almost... Yeah, it's been like a little bit of a thing that I have to constantly go, whoa, no, that's not the direction that I'm wanting to be going in. Whoa.
Step back. So you're like in a bit of a slipstream, because this has become a movement, really. Like it's got its own energy and heartbeat. I totally understand that. Yes. Yeah. And you're kind of like,
yes,
trying to hold the reins and keep on the horse. And
yes.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So we I think I was going to say, so then I just kept putting the what is it? Then I kept putting posts out going, oh, that was so fun. Can we do this? And kept inviting more people. So I think and I can't remember how many ended up doing the nudes in the end. It was heaps and heaps of photo shoots over a relatively short period of time. Anyway, and then we got to the end of the book and I was like, oh, I wanted to do a crowdfunding campaign to publish the book.
Yes.
Because I wanted to do it all print it locally and ethically and sustainably.
Yes.
And all of the things, which is really expensive.
Yes, it is.
So I had this idea that I would make it a more comfortable space so anyone could just come. So I was like, if anyone wants to come and be involved in the last shoot for Through Her Eyes, come down on this day. We're going to record a video we're going to record a bit of stuff for the crowdfunding campaign and come in your black bras and undies and meet at Petrol Cove in Victor Harbour. So we did that and I think there was 23 women there and I was like, oh my goodness.
That's so good. So how long ago is this?
So many people.
Sorry. How long ago how long ago did the book come out and what sort of time frame are we talking? Because I've only really come across you in the last, 8 months or so.
Yeah.
So I don't kind of know the history.
I think I was writing the book and started some of the photos in about 2017.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think the book came out, I don't know exactly. I think the book came out in about 2019.
Yeah.
It was a big process. So we eventually did the once I got the book all collated and everything all together, then I did a Kickstarter campaign in the end. And to launch that, I was like, oh, let's do another shoot to like launch the Kickstarter campaign. So we did another shoot. And then to launch the book, we did I did like a I don't know, festival. We called it a mini festival. And then we did another shoot at the festival just for fun. And then that's kind of that was kind of the start of the evolvement of it all, because then it was like, oh, this is a thing, a shoot and a festival.
Yeah, a shoot and a festival. And also just honouring the fact that you literally bought yourself a camera and had notes on your phone the very first time that you used it. And here we are, 4 or 5 years later, and you're shooting festival, you're holding a festival, shooting amazing photography and videography. And you've just actually done, can we talk about the Under the Water series that you've done as well?
Yep.
More about that, because the photos are absolutely amazing, but there's a deeper why behind it. So how did that come about in amongst I know it's not directly She Is Seen, but how did that project?
Yeah, well, this is a funny thing about She Is Seen, because I'm like, I want it to be encompassing so much more than
body positivity.
Well, about everything being connected and about and we're we're a product of our environment basically, and we're getting filtered all this information all the time that's telling us that we're not good enough and we need to buy something and we need to consume something and all these, those sorts of things. Yep. So before we can be enough and be acceptable or palatable or whatever it is that we need to be. And then
there's big dollars in that, isn't it? Whoever's telling us that, where they're trading off our insecurities that they gave us in the first place, which is rather ridiculous when you think about it. But yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, then there's the byproduct of when we do that, and I'm entirely guilty of it, going, oh, I need a new top, but
yes,
because I need a new top because I need to feel more comfortable today. Like, holy moly, we're a pretty interesting. I think we're at a pretty interesting place in history at the moment, and the world and our consumerism is out of control.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The effects that our consumerism have on the environment are revolting. So I did, for that, the underwater photos that you're talking about, recently I did a series of podcast interviews as well with scientists and
environmentalist
doctors, about some of the effects that we're having. And also I worked with other artists who are really passionate about plastics in the ocean, and it's just mind-boggling. So they think there's like, I'm not very good with stats and I'm not very scientific,
I know.
but they
way
think
too much
enough
plastic in the ocean.
Yes, way too much plastic, like enough to cover, I think it's like that you could circumference the entire ocean a meter thick with the amount of plastic that they can see in the ocean. But then of course there's microplastics from everything, like even I'm just thinking, like I've got jeans on, jeans have got that elastic stuff which turns into microplastics. It's all not all of them do, but you know, lots of them do. So it's tricky and it's quite creepy. And so that was just before I started She Is Seen. In my youth I was a competitive surfer. So I've spent a lot of time in the ocean, and I did do I did do ocean shoots as part of Through Her Eyes. We did a nude surfing shoot. It was
hang on a minute. I feel like there's good nude and there's bad nude, and that could be very
it was so funny. So funny.
Not that there's no bad nude. I don't know whether you're a Seinfeld fan, but there's an episode where he talks about, he comes out and someone's like ironing in the nude, and he's like, there's good nude and there's bad nude, and that is bad nude. So I don't mean that there's bad nude. Wow,
like
okay.
Too much information nude. I'm like, I think that's not got quite a few of the shoots for Through Her Eyes, and that one I'm like, some of these photos will not be going in the book. This is not what we're going for.
we're not going quite that far.
But
oh my goodness.
So that was a big passion project for me, and I have tried to weave some of the that back into She Is Seen, because we've got t-shirts that we do now with the festival as well, and they took me like literally years to source.
Wow.
To find sorry.
No, that's right. Something that doesn't do damage to the environment in the way that they're made.
To find something ethical and sustainable, and they both don't often come together. So that was a bit of a journey to do that. But
so I'm interested even I'm all about golden threads, right? So there's always a golden thread going through everybody's story, all the different things that they've done in their life. Always, I feel like it inevitably leads to a certain calling or message or whatever. When you were, say, let's go back to, how young were you when you were competitive surfing?
Young. Teenager.
Yeah, so teenaged you, and then Libby, who was writing the book and had the first version of the book, had the understanding of like, if that little girl wants to be like her mum, but her mum isn't, accepting herself, then there's like a ripple effect that's happening.
Yes.
Do you feel like there's a bridge between the two of them? Were you feeling any of that kind of lack of acceptance back in your teenage years, or did you?
Surfing,
I know this is like how long's a freaking piece of string question? It's like, hello, I'm a female. Of course I was.
Yeah, I've always had bad, a poor self-image. Whatever. And even, I think I used to think I was fat, and I had I literally could put my arm up like in the air, and I had muscles across my rib cage. I was so fit. But the surfing industry back in the late 90s, early 2000s was an interesting place. It was an interesting subculture to grow up in. And so I guess our experiences do kind of shape things. I also think back then, like, that kind of was my even with the journey of She Is Seen in general, I've learnt so much, and about, and even I think it's really, even my idea of writing like about this little girl that wanted to grow up and look like her mum, and but her mum didn't like herself, like that's totally relatable, but I think there's so much more to self-acceptance and how we've been programmed to pull it back and put it all on the mother. Which is
true.
There's so many parts of how I've learned a lot, not all good from this, or not all comfortable from this journey.
I totally agree with you. I think that the mother gets a bad rap on a lot of levels, and it's like, hang on a minute, our environment is the bubble of all of the information that we're consuming and all of the, you know, thoughts, habits, beliefs, etc. I call it a snow globe. So it's like, you know, what snow globe did you grow up in, but also what snow globe do you keep on putting yourself in on social media and all of those things. And
definitely.
I think what you were talking about with consumerism, I mean, it's all connected, isn't it? It's like to get us to spend money, we have been told for many decades, probably hundreds of years, that we're not right the way that we are, that we need a certain diet or a certain product or a certain pill or a certain cream or a certain, you know, fill in the blank here to feel better about ourselves. So we've got that going on. And we've also got, you know, don't even get me started on the whole diet culture thing, which I got very much sucked into and, you know, spent decades of my life either restricting or binging my way through, you know, lots of different iterations of myself, trying to seek that feeling of being okay. And it's like, oh my God, how ripped off have we been? That the feeling of being okay comes internally, not from anything outside of yourself. It's like, shit, I've been looking for this thing all the time. When you run these big shoots, and so how many people were in the last one? Because this is the one that Christina was in that I was talking about.
Sure.
Like hundreds, I want to say. Would it be hundreds?
I think it was about 180. I think we
it looked like a lot of
175 tickets, and then I've got about 20 staff. So I think, it was a lot. There was a lot of us at that one. It was fun.
Did you just have a moment, or do you ever have moments where you look at this thing that started as something that was this little idea in your head and has grown and, like, you know, built her own energy and everything? Did you have any? We probably didn't have any spare moments on the day, but to have that moment of reflection and just go, I did not see this coming. Like the magic that is that. Like, what's your sense when you're at your own, you know, at the She Is Seen Festival, and it started from something that was just like this idea for a book that then grew momentum? How do you feel?
This is funny. Probably not what you have.
No, I'm interested because
it's funny. It's just funny. I get really bad anxiety. And I'm quite I find crowds quite overstimulating and
me too.
really full on. So quite often at the festivals I'll be dissociated, literally.
Just check out.
And yes. And I love them. I love the community and everything, but they cause me I don't know, it's a constant internal battle for me, because I'm like, I love this. It's really, for me, I love the community and the connection and the space that it allows for people just to step into themselves and be who they are and to be seen by other people who, it's just like when you're standing with all these women in like black bras and undies or nude, it's just so leveling. Like and there's literally, I know like what the demographics of the group are like. There are the groups are full of women from one extreme to the other extreme on, like, you know, on life income and life experience and all sorts of things, and everybody's just there and everybody's lovely to each other, and it's just a beautiful space, really. And I think
magical.
I think just being part of it is the actual beauty. And then we take the photos, which is fun. But for me, they're not what they used to be. That's an involvement, I think, as well. I really love we do the big drone images with symbols and
amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing and they're fun and but then the walking down the street in your undies is amazing too. And also we're really lucky down here. I think because I've built it up slowly over time. The councils, it's accepted and the councils are on board here and everybody kind of knows about it. So I know other women trying to do similar things in different areas in Australia and the councils won't let them. They're like, no, you can't do that. Whereas the councils down here are like, oh, we'll close the street off for you, or we'll, they're fully supportive. Or literally the council down here are, the Alexandrina Council are sponsoring this year's festival.
Wow.
And supporting it. So we've got really good community support and
Do you think that's because you've grown it slowly, or like what do you think is the objection in other areas? Just the practicalities of it? Or, I mean, they close streets all the time for all sorts of things. So
yeah, I think there's the fine line between what we do is, well, there's an element of activism obviously to this as well. And questioning everything that we've been taught to believe. And that makes people incredibly uncomfortable.
Yes, absolutely.
And does I mean, I've copped a lot of abuse. I wouldn't know if it's abuse. I've copped a lot of uncomfortableness on social media.
Really?
Yeah. In the past it's made me really question whether I can keep doing it enough to go, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Because of why? Showing bodies or pushing the buttons of questioning the belief system?
Who knows? People that question like all over the shop. And then I tend to take things oversensitively. So
yeah. I think that is something I wanted to circle back to, because when you say about like dissociating in a big festival and that it feels very overstimulating and overwhelming, I know that you've got a really big team that supports you. And is that something that has evolved over time because you've known that you've needed to support yourself to be able to hold the space for other people? Not that you are personally holding the space, but to create something so big with so many moving parts and so much energy when you get that many people together. Is that how the team evolved, or is it just a practical thing? Did you have any sense that to continue you needed to have more layers between, yourself who gets overstimulated? Yeah,
absolutely. And I have the team are made up of quite different people with different skill sets. So we have people that are amazing, like the events team that are amazing in a practical sense, like organizing and I'm
setting up
and making sure things are ticked off, and like I can get all the t-shirts, for example. I can get all the t-shirts that we need there and have them all set up. But if you want me to then sort them into piles of sizes, I might be able to do that. Yeah. But then once 3 have been taken out of a certain pile, I'll have no idea how many are left. Like that's just my attention span will be well and truly gone by that point. So I've got like amazing people that can hold a really practical space. So good. And at the events, and then also just I can't project my voice, which is like you learn the funniest things, like the when you've got over 100 people standing over a huge space, and we're quite often on the beach or something, like people literally can't hear me. So I always have someone standing next to me with a microphone, like referring what I'm saying,
interpreting. I love it. So you obviously did not grow up with my dad was in the army and was a regimental sergeant major, so I can project my voice like you wouldn't fucking believe. And really it's always in that like that mum tone, like even when I'm not trying to do the mum tone, but anyway. Continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
you're right. No, so I've just got this amazing team of people who, and they're all volunteers. Like
Amazing.
I think she is seen as well. The other thing that happens is it looks like it's this great big company sort of thing going on, and it actually makes no money. It's all volunteer run and supported by sponsors, and it is crazy, and it's that's the other part of me constantly questioning my life decisions, like putting a lot of time into something that I don't get a wage from. Like
I mean, I can guess on multiple levels the answer to this, but why do you keep doing it then? If you question, what's the thing that keeps coming back to your heart that is more important than creating the income from it?
I almost feel like I don't have a choice, to be honest. It's like a movement. It propels itself along. I have in the last 12 months like really pulled it right back and got really specific about what we do. And so now we've just opened up a new free Facebook group for and there's multiple people teaching in it, because I think we do need community and support, but then also it works for me to move out the way, because I don't need to be holding all of that space. I think that's my bit that's come into it. And then the festival, we can just make like this magic experience. So that's which I know, like we're doing it in Port Elliot this year. I know the whole town's going to get behind it. We've got it'll be really fun. And now I've learned to, and it didn't have to be a festival. So it's so funny. Like I've got but we've got, workshops that go for, over 2 days this year. Like, hectic.
Amazing.
But anyway, it'll be really fun.
I love hearing you listen and respond to how you're feeling about it and where it's going. So I think things that get bigger than us can pull us forward and make us feel like we don't have a choice. But it sounds like you're making choices that make it more sustainable for you, but also allow the community to continue to flourish. And I'm interested on the days, like just say a festival day, because I'm just imagining, like I would be very overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed with lots of people as well. And there would also be a part of me that would literally want to go and find somewhere that's a little bit quieter, that I could just observe the magic going on, because the way that Christina described it to me was that she was just like high on life the whole day, like just that the whole experience of walking through streets in your undies with other women, with no judgment, being completely accepted. Everyone's in this magical mood. Everyone's, hugging, and that it's like a big love fest type of thing.
Yes.
Do you ever get to do that, or it's too? I know it's probably back to feeling a bit dissociated, but I wonder if do you ever get to just observe, and what do you see when you observe?
I think I probably observe more on reflection than actually at the event, because there's so much going on. And
too many balls.
Too many. I mean, this year, like we had amazing, like I had MCs that were managing the stage flow and everything, and so I don't have to know what's going on with that, which is so amazing. Good. But even just the photos and the drone. The drone freaks me out, so I'll be like worrying about random things. I have so many issues with there's just all this stuff going on in the background of my head. Insurance is a nightmare for the festival. And so it's like I don't know, I've just got a really busy head. So I think for the 3 weeks leading up to it, like my headspace is quite unpleasant, to be honest. And I think it's unpleasant for my family as well. Oh dear. And then it takes me like a good week or so, well, probably more, because I need to then go and edit the photos and all of that sort of thing, to like decompress from it. But Yeah,
That's
it's just
lot.
it's lots of practice in. But even the last couple of months, I've got like people from. We do have such an amazing community, and this year, and I feel like we're getting better every year at how we're organising things. So this year, I've got I've nearly got the program done up for this year's festival.
Yeah.
Which last year I think we were about 2 days out, and we were still trying to confirm the times of stuff. So
it's just tweaking and making it more sustainable and less dependent on single people. And the team sounds amazing too, because I think, you know, when you're saying about the t-shirts and things like that's something that I could do very easily, but then other things I don't. And I just think that we are finally in a space, or I feel like we're finally as a community getting better and better at saying everyone is different, everyone has different gifts, and we need to just allow people to be in their natural flow. So whatever, you know, comes naturally to us, that's what we're meant to be delivering, not everything else. Like, stop making each other wrong. And I think, you know, the whole neurodivergence thing that has become so much more spoken about, particularly in women. I've spent my entire life making my ADHD brain wrong for things because it didn't operate the same as everyone else. And to actually then have a reason, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I could have just like chosen to accept the fact that that's just not the way that I work.
Yeah.
And it's taken an actual diagnosis to offer that to myself. And I think, oh my goodness, all these years, you know.
Yeah. And I feel exactly the same as that. So I feel exactly the same as that. And I think that's part of the team as well, because I'm literally not capable of, I can do that. Actually, I am capable of doing this at the very last minute, but I've had massive health things the last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it's probably a sidetrack from She's Seen, but on a neurodivergent level, my head gets so busy with doing all of this and so preoccupied with doing this that I'm literally missing out on life happening all around me. And
I so relate to that.
Really confronting. And I don't think you even have to be neurodivergent to have that happening. I think our world is so fast paced and so taxing on all of us. That it's constantly a bit of a battle of what's important here and what's nourishing and
nourishing. And I think it's interesting, like a lot of the work that I do is with people in perimenopause. And I think one of the biggest things that is the gift in perimenopause is that we don't have as much, or most of us don't have as much emotional bandwidth, stress tolerance, and fucks to give, really. Let's just be honest. It just gets to this stage where I don't have anything left in the tank. So I actually can't be obsessing about all those things that I used to kind of spread myself thin with, because I don't have anything there, you know, like I don't have anything in the tank. And again, I won't make myself wrong for it, but I do have a sense of like all of the things I've missed out on because I prioritize things that I thought were important that really weren't and really aren't going to be when I'm on my deathbed. You know, and I just think, you're right. Confronting is the perfect word. But I guess the other part of me says, well, I can trust the timing on when I become aware of things and
I think that's a good way of looking.
Well, I think
it's look at it like that.
It's a gentler way of looking at it, right? So that's my self-compassionate way of looking at it. I want to circle back to when you said before, so She Has Seen, like it started off body positivity, women being accepted for, you know, accepting themselves for who they are. And then you said, I really wanted it to be, or not that you wanted it to be, that there's more that you want it to be about. So the activism end of things, environmentalism. Is there other things that are calling to you to sort of add to the picture here? As we've just had a conversation about having too much to do, I'm now asking you what else you want to do. But no, I mean, like, what else is calling to you? Like, you've raised awareness about so many big things in this community. Is there other things that are still, you know, tugging at your heart?
There's definitely other things tugging at my heart, but I think this is the thing of I don't know that She Is Seen needs to hold the space for all of
gotcha.
all of that.
Yeah. So maybe there's separate things being born.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I'm really interested in food security and like just really practical things like seed saving and everyone being able to grow their own garden and know that we can grow our own gardens and these sorts of things. But yeah, it's not really necessarily the space for She Is Seen. I think
maybe not.
No,
yeah, I think maybe not. Well, who knows?
Yeah, I think we've just, I've just gone off in all different sorts of tangents and which is what I do.
But I think that's also one of the juicy things about having a brain that likes to, look into novel things. Like, I was laughing the other day because my husband goes through these periods where he gets like super, super interested in something. And then, I'll come home. Like at one stage when we first moved to the country, he got really obsessive about AI and cows. And so I came home one day and our big screen TV had a YouTube video with a guy's hand right up a cow's behind. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's not what I expected to see on the TV. Now he's diving into something else. But one of his ongoing things, because we live in the country, but we've just got a double size house block. So our house is on the front, but the back block.
Oh, awesome.
During COVID, he cracked the shits about vegetable prices and also quality of vegetables and went and bought himself a rotary hoe and just dug up the whole of the back garden. And now we have, lots and lots. Like we've got so many bloody watermelon and honeydew at the moment. I should look like I literally, my head should be a rock melon, honeydew.
That's amazing.
But he is getting really into the whole, like the seed saving and also making sure that the seeds that he's planting are like heirloom varieties or something that hasn't been genetically screwed with and, is going to be not sustainable in the future or isn't even food that we should be eating now.
And I think there's something where it kind of does potentially link back into She Is Seen is that there's something so grounding about connecting to the earth and we're all most Australians I think are most Australians are we don't have a connection to the land we live on. Or we do in a different way. I don't mean that maybe I'll reword that somehow.
I get what you're saying. Continue.
I just think it's important for us to look after where we're living and also connect that. Like there's lots of scientific stuff. That's a very good sentence, isn't it? There's lots of scientific stuff.
I'm a scientist and I say shit like that, so go ahead. There's lots of scientific stuff. Some of it's bullshit, but anyway, continue.
About the benefits of literally just being immersed in nature and that regulating our nervous system and
absolutely.
And I think connecting us back to I'm like, now I remember where this loop was going. Connecting us back almost through this is probably where the scientific thing drops off the end though and we move into
I cannot
where and I think gardening can allow us to connect back through generations and through it's like long lost skill sets that we've had for a ridiculously long time, no matter where our ancestry is from. People have grown food or foraged for food and been connected to nature for such a long time. And we've narrowed it down to you go and buy. I literally brought lettuce in a plastic bag last night.
Yeah, no.
We're so far.
What have we done?
Yeah, what have we done? And
we're so far removed.
We're so far removed, and we can be so aware of it. And and I can do the we can be so aware of it that for example, I'm doing a activism exhibition about plastic in the ocean, but I still went and brought a bag of lettuce wrapped in plastic last night.
I know.
Like it's.
I know. But I think
such a practice.
Where my mind is going as you're talking is, I know this has been on the internet for a while, and it's like, we buy our food in boxes, we watch boxes, we work in boxes. Like we literally are, and I'm saying the royal we, overall society. I'm not personally like this because I've chosen not to live a life like that, but I have done my time in a fluorescently lit corporate cubicle for years and years and years, where you have no idea. Like I'd come home and Shane would be like, oh, a warm one today. And I'd be like, I don't know. I've been in air conditioning all day. Like I literally have no connection to the outside. Haven't put my hands in soil for years. Don't even care where my food is coming from because I'm so stressed and so dysregulated nervous system wise that I don't even have the ability to choose for myself. Like that's how I felt in those days. And I think the gift of, I am great at inside plants. Like I can keep my inside babies alive, but outside, like I could kill anything. I'm not good at keeping the garden alive. So when Shane's away, it's a little bit hairy. Anyway, our elder daughter does that. But like being able to, like we planted fruit trees when we moved in, I think this must be our 5th season. And so this season is the season that we got every single one gave us a crop apart from the mango, because really we live in a place where we get frost, and mangoes and frost don't go together. But my husband puts a blanket on it every winter and tries to coddle it through. It's not going to happen. But anyway, that's fine. That's his project. But the joy of seeing little tiny, all of the buds come out, and then the little tiny fruit growing on like a nectarine or a apricot tree or something, and then having, the crop that you're enjoying and how much better everything tastes. But also it keeps you connected to just what nature's doing. And I think, that's how we get so disconnected from our cyclical nature, because we're not even connected to the cyclical nature of nature, if that makes sense.
Totally.
It's kind of a circular.
Yes, totally. And then there's I've seen quite a couple of videos on social media lately of just comparing well, actually Clancy did one ages ago for She's Seen, with just comparing, like the rhythms in the divots in the shoreline to divots in thighs, and we are so connected, and we are of nature. And I think that's where the correlation does, like there is totally a correlation there. And if the like the plastics in the ocean, if there's microplastics in the ocean, there's bound to be microplastics in us, and they're just finding that now. Like they're detecting microplastics in people's breast milk. Like that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. That is terrifying. And then when you hit hormone roller coaster years, and you realize how much of the product / environment that you're in. Like I've always been pretty much aware of what I'm using, but in, kind of like your lettuce in the plastic bag sort of thing. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'll just grab this. But then when you hit a stage when your hormones are dysregulated anyway, then it becomes really, really important to understand how you can influence in any way that you can. And still, obviously, there's a natural process that happens when we transition out of reproductive years, and that is as it should be, and is a natural process and is normal. But there is lots of things that we can do to influence it. And one of those is not being exposed to, horrible cleaning products and shit in our food and whatever. So I do think it's connected, because I think it's if we can find a way to take care of our environment, our planet, our soil, all of those things, then it has to reflect on how we value ourselves. And I think it's the other way around as well. It's like a cycle, and we can either cycle down or we can cycle up. So it's like that spiral of awareness. Where can people connect? I want to put in the show notes the Facebook community. I'm going to grab the link to Through Her Eyes as well, so that people can grab a copy of that. Where's the best place? Is it the She Has Seen website to look at photography and everything that you've taken of previous festivals, or on Instagram? Like, what's the
probably Instagram?
Way? Yeah,
probably Instagram. So I've just created, in my attempt to try and simplify life, which is kind of funny because I've just this might change next week, but anyway, you can so the festival now has its own space at She Is Seen. Is the festival on Instagram. Where She Is Seen movement is us as well on Facebook, and the website She Is Seen movement. And also I've got, if you just look up Libby Tozer as well, then that's where all the history of She Is Seen is. And the Facebook group is an amazing space, and that's where if anyone's wanting to connect, I would say go to the Facebook group. And there's actually there's already courses in there, and there's units in there where I've read chapters of Through Her Eyes and then kind of just dissected what it meant, like, because they're only short chapters, but what all the meaning behind it was, and then put more information to support in there. So Facebook group's free.
I've seen that in there, so I will have to. I'm not on Facebook that much, I have to say, so I will go back in. I'm in the Facebook group, but I don't tend to spend too much time on Facebook.
Oh, I think the guides section in Facebook's groups is completely mind-boggling as well. They're so hard to find.
Yeah, and I also, similar to what you're going through, trying to find boundaries for myself around sustainable work practices. And so if I'm on social media, it's very much about, being on, responding to people's comments and then getting off again. And I'm like, which is good in one way, but it does mean I miss some things. But it takes protect my sleep and have some time with my family. And I actually text my husband this morning when I woke up and said, have you run away? Because I've been a raving lunatic with no sleep this week. So he's like, no, I just went out for a bit. So, I totally relate to the missing out on things that ideally you wouldn't be. So,
we're all, but I think we're all, it doesn't even matter our, I think there's levelers for all of us as people, and it doesn't really matter our, in some ways, our backgrounds and all of the bits, even our life experiences, they differ so much, but we're all in this same little pressure cooker together, and we all struggle with different things. But
absolutely.
I think for me, that's the future of She Is Seen, and the beauty of She Is Seen is the community and how everybody just creates. And it's not even a space that I'm holding alone anymore. So it's a space that everybody is holding together for each other. It's a community. And that's
when I was in there. Actually, just a quick question. The festival, how young and old do you reckon your either side sort of age range was in the last festival?
Well, I say they have to be 8 people to come in the photos. People have to be 18.
Yep. True. Didn't think about that.
As far as how old, I'm not sure what the oldest person would be. But we've had there's people that have been in She Is Seen shoots who have passed away since being in shoots. So we have and I think that's one of the most beautiful things about our community, and potentially one of the most unique things is because I see other people trying to do similar stuff and they don't.
It's not the diversity of age as well.
Yeah, the age diversity is. I love that we have great age diversity, and I love that we have great age diversity. And all because it just doesn't matter where you are in your journey, and it's for anyone that feels comfortable in that feminine space, that's that's who it's for.
The reason I ask is because when I went into your free Facebook community, what I loved the most was because I entered just as you were restarting this actual community. And so everyone was introducing themselves, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's everyone from like 20 somethings to 80 somethings in here.
Yes.
And I feel that is so missing, that we don't have anymore that woman to woman, like they're sitting at the feet of the women that have gone before us, particularly when we're going through something like perimenopause or, childbirth and those first few really crazy months. Like we're missing out on the benefit of sharing wisdom through generations. And when I saw that in your group, I was like, yes, there's a community here where there's actually, people that are glowing and self-accepting and joining together and supporting each other in every age bracket. So
and the connections, I'm really hoping that community space on Facebook can become a beautiful connection space. And the connections that people make at the actual festival are they're literally life-changing connections. And I know there have been amazing friendships made at the festival that have maintained well beyond what we're doing, which is there's so much beauty in it. And also the other thing that I really do like about having older women in there is older women are completely unrepresented in everything. In absolutely everything. They're and I think they're most affected by the housing crisis.
Absolutely. Financially wise, they're the worse off.
So I love that we can pop photos up with representing older women, and
me too.
Also have an amazing space full of free resources that.
I think like you were saying before about when you were thinking about, putting pictures of bellies up and that wasn't kind of being done. I feel like we're at the same tipping point stage with the ageism thing, because there's more and more talk about. Actually, next week I'm interviewing someone, Ashton Applewhite. I can never remember which one, but she is all about it's all this ageism bullshit. It's like we don't just get invisible and die, withered away at 50. Like we've got so much more magic and power and so much more stuff that we want to do and offer the world and joy to create and adventures to have. And I do think we're on that tipping point at the moment. It just seems to be, and maybe it's just because of the bubble that I'm in with the perimenopause kind of, researching and connecting.
Yes.
But I feel like, perimenopause and then aging for women particularly is that it's like, oh, yay, we're almost at the same stage. Whereas what you were talking about was the tipping point of like the whole, bodies are actually bodies and we should be okay with bodies, that type of thing. And, we've got a long way to go yet, but I'm glad that that's happening.
And that's what my, and in the involvement of everything, that's, I think is hysterical. This is so totally sidetracked. Sorry. But anyway, I've got the, my tagline used to be, normalizing, what was it? Normalizing like perfect imperfection that's everybody, and and the idea was to influence the media. And now I think that my naivety was hysterical. Like you can't I don't know who I thought I was, influence the media. My gosh. And the bigger media platforms that you get into, that's where that nasty trolling has always been from big media things.
Well, but big media runs on the same machine as everything that breaks us in the first place. Like it's all money and power, money and power, money and power. Like it's not,
Yes, it's divisiveness and separation. And we're like, oh, this is a beautiful community space and everybody's welcome here. I'm like, and this is not a good energetic space to be in. So that was a big learning for me, that I'm not at all trying to influence the media anymore.
Do you know what though? I don't know whether that's naivety. I think that's pureness of spirit, where it's like, this is where the problem is, therefore that's where I need to start making the difference. I've done stuff like that as well, where I look back and go, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? But we don't know. And it's still created, she has seen the movement. So who,
totally. I know. And the other women that I've spoken to that run have big one in particular I can think that runs a big campaign as well like this, has copped all sorts of similar completely different abuse. Like it's a fascinating little, social media is a fascinating world.
Wow. Small-minded people are threatened by people that want to open their minds. That's what it comes down to. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
Totally a whole other conversation.
Libby Tozer, it has been an absolute joy to share my morning with you. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed learning more about your journey, and I cannot wait to see where you go next with She Is Seen or outside of She Is Seen. Let's start seed saving together.
Yeah. Just find the flower patch again. No
What's
worries.
that?
Thank you so much for having us. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really nice to chat to you.
Is there cottage garden pictures on your Instagram or somewhere where I can just like marinate in the view of your cottage garden flowers?
Oh, this is me in the hystericalness of trying to simplify everything. I have a different a new account.
Yes.
It's called Salt Daisy. I think it's salt.daisy.
Salt.daisy.
And I've just copied, and because we've literally just sold our house. So there's photos on there, but we're like, now I'm like, oh, where's the next bit?
Exciting. Oh, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy. And
No
I love
worries.
your shirt too.
Thanks. Yeah, that's my salt day. That would be a good work shirt if I actually work that out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, love. Bye.
No worries.
Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and I trust you received some golden nuggets or key takeaways that will help you to create the space and grace to more gently traverse this perimenopausal transition. I know that sometimes these midlife years feel rather messy, but they do have a magical purpose. We are literally smack bang in the middle of a powerful, potent, sometimes painful portal, the rite of passage of perimenopause. And the way I see that is that it's a bridge between our younger, energetic, dating and mating, climbing the ladder, easily able to juggle all the balls self, and our older, wiser, take no bullshit, deeply anchored in our own internal guidance, free of obligation, duty, roles and responsibilities that no longer fit us, and way more powerful wise woman within. And what's the wise woman doing right now? She's calling you to gently, patiently cradle yourself whilst you burn down what no longer serves, whilst you honour your needs, while you connect and repattern old limiting things, and you surrender to this deep midlife metamorphosis. I have created something really special for us to get together online every month, completely free. They're called the Soothe Sessions, and it's a chance to join me to create the space and the grace to calm your mind, soothe your nervous system, and learn to feel really safe in your body so that you can let the wise woman have her way with you. We'll join online every month for 90 minutes, and the sessions will include a little bit of a fundamental background info about this powerful portal of perimenopause. I'll share with you a simple and effective tool from my toolbox to offer you some self-soothing when this tricky transition starts to get you down. And my toolbox includes everything from sleep science to energetic medicine, bodywork, shiatsu, traditional Chinese medicine, oriental psychology, yoga, meditation, breathwork, all sorts of weird and wonderful East meets West goodness. I'll also offer you a high quality question for your self-awareness and growth. And then perhaps most delicious of all, a super relaxing 20-minute restorative yoga or yoga nidra to allow you the space and grace to integrate what you've learnt. You will find everything about the Soothe Sessions underneath the show notes in all the podcast platforms, and also on my website at kyliepatchett.com.au under free monthly masterclass. I hope you will take the opportunity to join me. I'd love to meet more of you live, and I will be swapping the time zones around from evening to early morning Australian time so that everyone around the world, including the 29 countries that Zoom on in across Australia and the Asia Pacific region and Europe and the Americas, and even Iceland, which I've just seen today, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the time zones will actually change so that they'll be good for you. And if you register, there will always be a replay. So I hope you'll join me. Here's to you going gently through this midlife metamorphosis, and have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for listening into today's episode. If you love the show, as I hope you do, please take the time to subscribe on your favourite pod listening platform and rate and review. And for bonus points, if you have a friend or someone who popped to mind as you were listening to this episode, why not hit the share link wherever you're listening and send them a little love bomb. Like, listen to this. Did you know this is normal? I really, really, really would love to get these beautiful stories into the hearts and ears and minds of so many more midlife mavens. And your help spreading the love is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm Kylie Patchett, your host, and have a spectacular day.